Alright, so you've watched my last two videos. You know about teff, quinoa, and all those ancient grains. You also know that tofu isn't actually terrible if you cook it right. But here's the problem I keep hearing from people: Dr. Michael, this all sounds great, but what do I actually eat? Like, specifically? That is a fair point. Knowing that teff is good for you doesn't help much when you're standing in your kitchen at noon wondering what to make for lunch. So today, I'm going to lay it all out for you. 7 days, every meal, exactly what to eat and when. No thinking required, just follow along. My name is Dr. Michael, by the way. I've spent 20 years working with seniors, and if there's one thing I've figured out in all that time, it's this: people don't need more information, they need a plan. They need something simple they can just do without having to make decisions all day. You know what decision fatigue is? It's real. By the time dinner rolls around, you've already made about 300 decisions that day. Your brain is fried, so you grab whatever is easy. Usually, that's something that isn't helping you build muscle. This meal plan fixes that. When you wake up, you know what's for breakfast. When lunch rolls around, you know what's for lunch. No thinking, no willpower needed. There was actually a study on this in the Journal of Gerontology. They followed seniors for 2 years. The ones who had structured eating plans gained way more muscle than the people who were just trying to eat better. Structure wins every time. Drop your age in the comments real quick, and if you've been trying the teff or tofu from my other videos, tell me how it's going. I love hearing those updates. Okay, before I walk you through the week, let me explain one thing that will help this all make sense: protein timing. Most people don't think about this. They eat a tiny breakfast, skip lunch, or grab something small, and then have this huge dinner with all their protein for the day. Does that sound familiar? Here's the problem with that strategy. Your body can only use so much protein at once for building muscle. It's like there's a cap. Eating 80 grams at dinner doesn't build twice as much muscle as 40 grams. Your body just burns the extra for energy or stores it as fat. But if you spread it out, 30 grams at breakfast, 30 at lunch, and 30 at dinner, now you've given your body 3 separate chances to build muscle instead of just one. That makes a big difference. Research from Birmingham confirmed this. Seniors who spread their protein throughout the day built significantly more muscle than those who didn't, even with the same total protein intake. Different timing, better results. So, this meal plan gives you around 25 to 30 grams of quality protein at every meal. Your muscles stay in building mode all day. Let's get into it. Day 1. I call this the foundation day because once you get this down, everything else is just variations. Breakfast is simple: teff porridge. Use about 3/4 cup of teff cooked in water or almond milk. It takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes. You'll know it's done when it gets thick and porridge-like. Top it with some hemp seeds, maybe 3 tablespoons, a handful of walnuts, half a cup of blueberries, and a little drizzle of honey if you want. That's it. It tastes way better than it sounds, I promise. And you're already at 22 grams of protein before you've even gotten dressed. Lunch is a grain bowl. This is going to be your go-to structure all week. Start with a base of quinoa, about a cup cooked. Then add your protein, which today is tofu, 4 ounces or so. Make sure you pressed it and baked it like I showed you in the last video. You want it crispy on the outside with a nice texture inside. Add whatever vegetables you want. I like broccoli, purple cabbage, and cucumber. Drizzle some tahini dressing on top. That's going to give you around 28 grams. It's filling and actually pretty delicious once you get used to it. Afternoon snack: this is important, so don't skip it. Have a cup and a half of edamame. Steam it for 5 minutes, sprinkle with some sea salt and a squeeze of lemon. Done. That's 18 more grams right there. Dinner is tempeh. I do about 4 ounces. Slice it up into strips, maybe a 1/4 inch thick. Oh, and don't skip the steaming part. Steam it for about 10 minutes. Trust me on this one, it gets rid of that weird bitter taste some people complain about. Then, pan-fry it with onions, peppers, and whatever seasonings you like. Serve it next to some amaranth and a big salad. That's around 26 grams right there. Add it all up, and day 1 gives you about 94 grams of complete plant protein spread across 4 eating times. Your muscles have had 4 separate opportunities to grow. Now, here's where people usually panic. They look at day 1 and think, that's a lot of cooking. I don't have time for that every day. You don't have to cook it all every day. Here's the secret: pick one day. Sunday works for most people, or Monday if you prefer, and batch cook everything. Make a big pot of teff, enough for the whole week. Do the same with quinoa and your third grain, whether that's amaranth, millet, or sorghum. Let them cool, put them in containers, and stick them in the fridge. They will last 5 to 7 days easily. On that same day, press all your tofu. I usually do a full pound. Press it, cube it, and bake it all at once. It takes maybe 30 minutes of actual oven time. Store the cubes in the fridge, and they're ready whenever you need them. Frozen edamame stays in your freezer forever and takes 5 minutes to steam whenever you want it. With all that done, most meals take about 10 minutes to throw together. You're assembling, not cooking. Day 2. Let's mix it up a little. Breakfast is teff pancakes. My wife actually came up with this one. Mix half a cup of teff flour, 1 mashed banana, 1 egg, and a splash of almond milk. Mix it until it's pourable and cook like regular pancakes. Top with strawberries and almond butter. They're dense, satisfyingly dense, not heavy, just filling. You're looking at maybe 20 grams of protein. Lunch goes Mediterranean with quinoa tabbouleh. That's basically quinoa mixed with chopped parsley, tomatoes, cucumber, and lemon juice. Add grilled tofu with oregano and olive oil, plus some hummus on the side with carrots and celery. That puts you somewhere around 25 grams. It feels fancy but takes 10 minutes if your quinoa is already cooked. The snack is a smoothie, silken tofu blended with frozen banana, hemp seeds, almond butter, and almond milk. It sounds weird, but it's actually really creamy and good, almost like dessert. That's 22 grams or so. For dinner, I usually do a stir-fry situation. Cube up some tempeh, throw it in a hot pan with bok choy, snap peas, mushrooms, garlic, ginger, and a splash of soy sauce. Serve it over millet, way better than rice, honestly. You're looking at maybe 28 grams. Day 2 adds up to around 95 grams total. Day 3 is where things get interesting. Bear with me here. Breakfast goes savory today. Cook your teff in vegetable broth instead of water. It's a game changer for flavor. Top with a fried egg, sautéed spinach, avocado slices, and everything bagel seasoning. This gives you somewhere around 24 grams. This one surprised me with how much I liked it. Lunch is a big salad, but a real salad, not just sad lettuce. Use mixed greens, quinoa, edamame, crispy tofu cubes, shredded carrots, almonds, and a sesame ginger dressing. That's around 30 grams. This one is actually my favorite lunch of the whole week. The snack is edamame again, plus some almonds, for around 20 grams. Dinner? Okay, this one's fun, tempeh tacos. Crumble the tempeh and cook it with taco seasoning and lime juice. Throw it in some corn tortillas and go crazy with the toppings, lettuce, tomato, avocado, cilantro, whatever you like. I usually make some amaranth on the side, adding a little lime and cilantro to it. That'll give you around 24 grams. Day 3 adds up to roughly 98 grams. I should mention something here, you don't have to follow this exactly. If you hate tacos, make something else. If you want to swap quinoa for millet one day, go for it. The structure matters more than the specific recipes. Hit your protein targets, spread them throughout the day, and eat real food. That's the game. Days 4 through 7 follow the same pattern, so I'll go through these quicker. Day 4. Breakfast is leftover pancakes from day 2. Reheat them in a skillet so they get crispy again. Slice up a banana and add a big scoop of peanut butter, my go-to lazy topping, honestly. That's around 21 grams. Lunch is a grain bowl with sorghum this time, tofu, roasted sweet potato, kale, and tahini dressing. Maybe 27 grams. Snack is another smoothie with silken tofu, mango, hemp seeds, and coconut milk, around 20 grams. Dinner is lentil stew. Red lentils cook fast, in like 15 minutes. Add carrots, celery, onion, garlic, cumin, and vegetable broth. Serve over amaranth with a squeeze of lemon and fresh parsley on top. Around 26 grams. Day 4 adds up to roughly 94 grams. Day 5. Breakfast is savory millet this time with sautéed mushrooms, a poached egg, hemp seeds, and fresh thyme. Around 23 grams. Lunch is a tempeh Buddha bowl. This is basically tempeh over quinoa with roasted chickpeas, cucumber, pickled onion, and green goddess dressing. Maybe 32 grams. Snack is edamame with a small piece of dark chocolate, around 18 grams. And yeah, I said dark chocolate. You heard me right. Life's too short. Anyway, dinner is tofu curry. This one takes a little longer, but it's worth it. Pan-fried tofu in coconut curry sauce with chickpeas, spinach, and peppers over millet. Around 28 grams. Day 5 adds up to about 101 grams, the highest of the week. Day 6. Breakfast is back to teff porridge, this time with coconut flakes, mango, macadamia nuts, and honey. Around 20 grams. Lunch is an Asian salad, greens, quinoa, crispy tofu, edamame, mandarin oranges, almonds, and sesame dressing. Maybe 29 grams. Snack is a trail mix you make yourself with hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and a few chocolate chips. Around 18 grams. Dinner is simple tempeh, pan-fried with garlic, lemon, and rosemary, served with sorghum and roasted asparagus on the side. Around 26 grams. Day 6 adds up to roughly 93 grams. Day 7. Breakfast is teff porridge with almond butter, strawberries, chia seeds, and hemp seeds. Around 24 grams. Lunch is tofu lettuce wraps, crumbled seasoned tofu with water chestnuts, carrots, and hoisin sauce served in butter lettuce cups with quinoa on the side. Maybe 26 grams. Snack is edamame with chili lime seasoning, around 18 grams. Dinner is tempeh skewers. Throw them on the grill with whatever veggies you've got, peppers, zucchini, onions, whatever. Put it all over some amaranth. I like to cook the amaranth with a little garlic and herbs, it makes it less boring. Around 27 grams. Day 7 adds up to roughly 95 grams. Okay, the shopping list. Let me make this easy. Grains, you're going to want about a pound or a pound and a half of teff, depending on how much you end up liking it. Get 1 pound of quinoa, 1 pound of amaranth, and a half pound each of millet and sorghum. Proteins, 2 pounds of firm tofu, 1 pound of tempeh, 3 pounds of frozen edamame, 1 pound of red lentils, and 1 container of silken tofu for smoothies. Produce, get your bananas, berries, mangoes, lemons, limes, avocados, broccoli, kale, spinach, bok choy, carrots, cucumber, tomatoes, peppers, onions, garlic, ginger, and fresh herbs like parsley, cilantro, rosemary, and thyme. Pantry stuff, hemp seeds, chia seeds, walnuts. Almonds, pumpkin seeds, tahini, almond butter, peanut butter, olive oil, sesame oil, coconut milk, vegetable broth, soy sauce, rice vinegar, maple syrup, and honey. Plus your basic spices. Here's the thing that surprises most people, this whole shopping list costs less than a week of meat-based meals, and you'll have leftovers of most things for the following week. A few tips before I let you go. First, master the teff. Seriously, once your morning teff game is solid, everything else falls into place. Cook it the night before if mornings are hectic, reheating is fine. Second, press your tofu the second you get home from the store. Don't wait. Press it, store it, and it's ready whenever you need it. Third, keep emergency protein around. Edamame in the freezer, hemp seeds on the counter, and canned lentils in the pantry are lifesavers for those days when you just can't deal with cooking. Fourth, don't be a perfectionist about this. If you follow this plan 80% of the time, you'll see results. Missed a meal? Whatever. Get the next one right. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Fifth, tell somebody what you're doing. A spouse, a friend, or put it in the comments here. Accountability works. When someone else knows you're doing this, you're way more likely to actually follow through. One more story before I wrap up. Remember Robert, the 72-year-old engineer from Chicago? I've mentioned him in my other videos. He followed this exact plan for 8 weeks. Same foods, same structure, same timing. His next doctor's appointment was interesting. The doctor looked at his numbers and literally asked what medication he'd been taking. Robert laughed and said, and I quote, "No medication, just Teff and Tofu." He'd gained almost 5 pounds of lean muscle. His grip strength was up 22%. His walking speed improved, and his balance tests were better across the board. At 72, if he can do it, you can do it. I'm going to put a printable version of this whole meal plan in the description as a PDF. Print it out, stick it on your refrigerator, and follow it for a week. See what happens. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with somebody who needs it. Building muscle is easier when you're not doing it alone. Which day are you most excited about? The tempeh tacos on day 3? The curry on day 5? Tell me in the comments. I read them all and I'll answer your questions. You've got everything now, the grains, the proteins, everything laid out for you. The shopping list, prep tips, and the science behind why it works. There's nothing standing between you and stronger muscles, except just starting. Tomorrow morning, make the teff. Press the tofu. Start day 1. 7 days from now, you'll feel different. In 30 days, you'll see it in the mirror. In 90 days, you'll wonder why you waited so long. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to stay independent. And now you know exactly how to make it happen. Take care of yourself. I believe in you. See you next time. It is important to remember that this isn't just about the food on your plate, it is about fueling the life you want to live. When you stabilize your blood sugar with these complex grains and provide steady protein to your muscles, you aren't just building biceps, you are building the energy to play with your grandkids, the stamina to travel, and the mental clarity to enjoy your hobbies. This way of eating creates a compound effect. The better you eat, the more energy you have to move. The more you move, the more your body craves good fuel. It is a positive cycle that reverses the typical decline we see in aging. So, view every bowl of quinoa and every serving of tempeh as an investment in your future freedom. You are building a body that is capable, resilient, and ready for whatever adventure comes next. Keep going, because the best version of your health is still ahead of you.